every character in the film Creation of the Gods 1, Kingdom of Storms are so impressive. This movie opens a magnificent Chinese deities universe which comparable to Marvel's, just like Lord of Rings or Game of Thrones. And this time, I'm so glad we have a whole epic, mythological movie that belongs only to Chinese people. The whole volume of the story, Creation of the Gods, is very huge. The original novel has more than 7 million words, writing the story of King Wu launched a war against King Zhou. The first part of the story mainly describes the tyranny of King Zhou. After that, the story mainly write about the war between Shang and Zhou. Finally, King Zhou suicide burning himself. King Wu seized the world and divided the nations. There is no doubting the brilliance of the story itself, but most films and TV drama series of this story sucks. Even when this movie was released, a lot of people thought maybe this movie is just as bad as others. Just some sort of big movie with big money and big stars finally become a big garbage. Why are there so many bad movies about this story in the past? And why is this movie different? The first thing about this movie that different from others is the casting. This time, a large number of new people were used and trained for years, and the familiar characters are almost all acting talents. And those actors have to pay a lot, not only their time, energy, but also valuable opportunities. The most controversial foreign actor Na Ran should have been like a lot of beauties in the entertainment industry, become a superstar 5 years ago. But because of the secrecy of the film, she has to keep the secret and been unknown for nearly 5 years. And in this film, this version of that are not conformist was shaped into a beautiful but harmful woman.
看来唤醒了一头野兽。
Director Wu Shan says, "She just a little animal. What she did just to keep herself alive. Beyond that, what surprised me most is the hostage young man group in the movie. I see the rough and wild beauty that I have not seen for a long time. The aesthetic of the Chinese people has returned. This young man with reddish complexion, strong body, with such a well-sculpted figure, and they can ride and archery. And behind the surprising appearance of the film, who would have thought that the intensity of the hostage group's election would not lose any way to create 101, and the select of the hostage group even more rigorous. Out of 15,000 people, 1,400 were all interviewed by director Wu Shan himself, and 30 people were selected. Among the 30 people, only 4 actors passed the training camp assessment to form the hostage group. The formation of the hostage group took nearly 2 years. They underwent 24 weeks of specialized course and intensive closed training, such as martial arts, equestrian, bow and arrow, body shaping, etc. The investment of the 3 series of Creation of the Gods is as high as 3 billion yuan. I'm glad it's not like all the other bad movies, throwing all money at popular stars. The film turned out so well, shows that this director really spent money well. Finally, I would like to mention an actor, Li Xuejian, who touched me the most. Li Xuejian could not pronounce words well due to vocal cord illness. I thought the director would use dubbing instead. As a result, the final sound was indeed the original voice of Li Xuejian, and the facts also proved that this choice gave the character more surprise.
此冠变为无啊！你是谁的儿子？不重要，你是谁才重要。
His vocalizations are a little bit blurry, which adds to the authenticity of the character. Besides that, Bo Yikao, played by Yang Le, the real interpretation of what is all-around talent. What touched me most is his loyalty and dedication. He always smiled gently, and can you imagine? He smiled at that moment. In fact, he has decided to die for his brother and father. At the end of the first film, the villain Big Boss, Wen Taishi finally returned to the country, and behind him will be 4 generals and a female general Deng Chanyu. This camp will start a big war against Erlang Gad and哪吒, even 12 golden fairies. I'm just too excited to wait for next year.